Welcome to the Spinfoil Theory podcast. Each week we sit down and discuss our favorite lore topics from within the Destiny universe. Specifically, we intend to take a close look at target questions and theories that have been nagging us and the Destiny community as a whole. To that end, our discussions tend to assume you already have some background knowledge of Destiny lore. Despite that, our goal is to be as lighthearted and welcoming as possible, though. So if you have any questions, please feel free to add us. Well, with that out of the way, let's dive into this week's lore topic.
I am also ready whenever.
All right.
My arm really fucking hurts.
Let's kick it off on that arm hurts.
Arm hurts.
Well, welcome to the Spinfoil
it just
Theory
hurts,
podcast.
man. It just hurts because I got a sunburn, and now it's
Is it metastasized? Is it just a malignant sunburn you've got?
It's just a sunburn on my arm, and it hurt.
And
I
that
did
was
cry.
That was your same arm you got the shot on too, right?
Yeah, I get my second shot next week.
I just got my second shot last week.
Yeah, so I should. I'm gonna check my email because I haven't gotten an email confirmation. That I have gotten it, I just haven't found it because I'm dumb.
I only got an email confirmation for the first one. The second one, I just showed them my card, and they were like, "Yep, that's when you're supposed to show up."
Yeah, that's. I just wanted to make sure. Let me check.
Well, while you're doing that, I'll welcome our fans here. Welcome to the Spinfoil Theory podcast, everyone. I'm your host Taylor-B, and checking up to confirm her second shot is LadyLucida.
Yep, that's me. Hello there.
Well, welcome to the show. For those of you who don't know, we actually did the last few, so my audio problems, I apologize. My gain got turned down. I don't know if it was like a Windows update or something, but I was wholly unawares, and I was super quiet, and sorry about that, but it should be fixed from this one going forward. I did some testy tracks. I did some test tracks to test this audio with current mic setup. Should be good to go.
I see.
Yeah, no, I'm making it sound like a lot of work went into this. I guess is the best way to actually express that thought. But it should be good to go now, guys. I really appreciate you bearing with us. So for this episode, we actually have a really fun theory this week. This week of Smallin and Lil Nixney. We have a fun theory, and this goes to the overall lore of Destiny in a way. So the theory is that the Darkness doesn't want the capitalized or air quotes, however you want to say it, game to end. The Traveler does.
Interesting.
And the reason I say the Traveler is so far the sort of equal counterpart, the air quotes, the Light, has never really been represented. The Traveler is an agent of the Light. But we don't know anything about, if it exists, a larger, body of, because the darkness is a collective.
Yes.
It's so far, it's just the Traveler. So, I mean, at very least, the Traveler wants the game to end. So, yeah, that's our theory this week. It's one near and dear to me. It's one I wrote down. So, it's
near and dear to you because you wrote it. Yes, so, that makes perfect sense.
So the crux of this, you guys, the crux of this really lies in. Actually, it goes back to early Hive lore, timeline-wise, in the Book of Sorrows, or the books, but the one that we have, and in that the Traveler is trying to essentially snuff out the worm gods. And at that time, that was the highest level of darkness that we were aware of. At least most explicitly. I think there were maybe little inklings here or there, but there's also been some retcons. So, with that in mind, the idea that the Traveler has continually tried to run away, and at least now that it's woken back up again, it has chosen to stand its ground with humanity. Now, whether or not it tried to run away the first time that the Darkness came around back in our Golden Age, I think is still up for debate, but at this point, I think it's kind of it could have run away if it wanted to.
You sure? you sure that's really up for debate?
Someone shot it for trying to do something. That's all I have to say about that.
Allegedly.
I don't think it was Rasputin necessarily. I think it's a very convenient one, but I also think that God, I can never think of that guy's name when I'm recording. But there's someone on Reddit, guys. If you research why Rasputin didn't shoot the Traveler in the back, the guy makes a very like lore poignant fact as to why Rasputin didn't do it.
Yes. Okay.
Based on his
I
own-
thought you were
Yeah.
saying that Rasputin shot the child.
Oh no, I don't
I
think
thought
Rasputin.
that has been debunked many,
Yeah,
many,
that has
many,
been
many
debunked.
times.
However, there have been many little tidbits of lore in D1 and D2 about someone accessing terminals in Rasputin's bunker and taking control of subsystems that we couldn't quite track down, that they were no longer linked to, and doing something.
Doing something.
Doing something. So I'm willing to say that, like, okay, maybe it wasn't Rasputin, but I think someone from Earth shot the Traveler as it tried to run away.
Interesting.
Because its wound comes from Earth. It comes from below.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And it doesn't rotate or any of that Jim Jam. But yeah, so that all being said is a little mini tangent. The Travelers tried to end it, like, demonstrably, at least, like, tried to end it once in causing a ZZG back on the Fundament, and, you know, at least taking a stand to finally, like, end things once and for all. So I think the Travelers' ultimate goal is actually to stop playing the game. Whereas the Darkness, outside of the Hive, so the Hive have just devastated things that they've gone through, and they have been at least like worshippers or agents of the Darkness in some capacity. I think that's pretty like flatly like implied, at least if it's not flatly said. These other entities, like the Darkness ships, them spicy Doritos, Ghost Chili, Pepperoncinis. Those guys, I mean, if the one inside the moon is any indication, they've come inside our solar system at least more than once, and for some reason, they don't just try to destroy everything. They take stuff, they make us weaker, but why do they just, like... It's like an army doing an invasion, but stopping, like, 20 miles outside the border. Or, like,
Pretty
the
much.
original border, or, like, maybe, like, stopping someone from invading someone else. They're like, okay, you expanded, we're pushing you back, but we're stopping here now. And
Pretty
so
much, yeah.
it's a really interesting theory that the idea that, you know, the Darkness seems to be the most accessible paracausal power, way more so than the light. The light seems to own, like,
Yes.
while the light exists in all things, like it only really seems to
Manifest.
in Guardians in this one instance, whereas the Darkness has been interacted with by, I think, like multiple species and in multiple ways, even more so than the species we know about who've interacted with it and, like, ended up being able to wield it.
Yeah.
So it's just like accessibility, willingness to work with anyone, demonstrably not trying to finish or win the game. Because I actually wonder, like, what happens when the game ends?
When the game ends, we put down the controller and cry.
Oh no, I meant the
I'm kidding,
gardener
I'm
and the
kidding. I was
winnower. Yeah, sorry.
I was making a joke.
I
Because
know
you know
you
that
caught me, though.
there's a game within a game.
Mm-hmm. It's real meta. It's real pimp your game.
Pretty much.
Like, yo, dog, I heard you like games.
Interesting.
But yeah, so that's the crux of it. It's just demonstrable actions, regardless of how enigmatic both entities seem to be. in just sort
Yeah.
of where we're at here after the season of arrivals, and our ongoing, at least so far, mastering of stasis. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Lucy, what are your thoughts? I know this was one I kind of pitched to you, so I'm interested to hear what you think.
I'm just, I guess, I don't know, because the Traveler and the Gardener have always been about complexity, and um, and meanwhile the Winnower slash the Darkness have always been about, a final shape, the Vex. I guess we know now that the Vex are indeed the final shape of every outcome, without the Traveler and the Darkness being present in the universe. Without that, the Vex win every single time, which is, as the gardener said in the unveiling lore, that's kind of boring. Just because that basically was their, I guess I wouldn't say their job, but like, because they had the whole flower game they were playing, and each flower represented a universe and all that jazz.
I do have.
But
I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say I do have, with as far as like the Vex being the flowers, being a part of the gardener's game.
Yeah.
The one, not really like. I don't want to say like issue, but like the one thing that always gives me pause in that consideration when I think about it is the Vex consume and convert. They don't grow. They only grow themselves.
Yeah.
Like the flowers on
No,
the
they do.
board are supposed to be
They
like
do.
propagations of life. Like, do you get what I mean though? Like,
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not. I'm saying like, because they were the flower game that they were playing is basically, hold on.
I can dig it. Well,
I'm trying to find the actual.
yeah, I can dig it. While you're doing that, my only thoughts, not to derail yours, was just that it seems so much that like, especially most of the Vex we've encountered that end up worshiping the darkness,
Yes.
they remind me more of like, honestly, Siva. They remind me more of things that mankind created. Consume, enhance, replicate.
Interesting.
Yeah, and especially
Well,
with their the stories of some of Praedyth's ghosts, where they're working hand in hand with the armies of mankind in the simulations.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But basically, the game that they're playing, each flower, at least from my understanding, each flower represented a universe, I guess. From the flower game that they were playing, the Winnower and the Gardener. And,
So like one flower, one traveler.
I guess? I don't know. But just from my understanding of it, basically the final shape was basically the pattern that the flower would end up in every single time. And
Okay.
and here it is. Every game we play, this one pattern consumes all the others, wipes out every interesting development, a stupid, boring exploit that cuts off entire possibility spaces from ever arising. There's so much we'll never get to see because of this pest. And they're talking about the Vex, is what
Ooh.
I think that they're talking about. Because the Vex, their whole purpose is just to convert everything to Vex.
Well,
Which,
I took that a little differently.
you take that a little differently. Okay.
I think their purpose is to ensure their existence until the end of time. because they're
Yes.
loopers. So if they can actually make it till the end of time, they basically exist in infinity.
Okay. Okay, I get that.
But I don't think they've ever made it to the end of time.
No. I think that's part of why the Vault of Glass exists, is because that's them trying to write themselves into the actual reality itself so that they are infinite.
And I actually wonder if they're getting, like, tips and tricks from other timelines. Where maybe they
Possibly.
did succeed.
That's where it gets tricky. Because here's the thing, if it weren't for us, the Guardians, the Vex would have already won. It's because the Vex can't simulate paracausality is why they haven't won.
Well,
And once they figure out how to simulate paracausality, we're fucked. We're dead. We're done. Game over. Adios.
So I'm here for this. I kind of want to, like, yes and on this and just sort of add that we're not the only paracausal player in town, though.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I'm just saying, like,
the first one they encountered, those Hyvie boys,
was Oryx.
Yep.
They can't simulate Oryx either. But then,
or Crota.
They can't simulate the big hive. They can simulate, little like Thrall and Wizards. Those are babies. Those are little babies. But the big Chungus, I guess, the bigger players of the hive, I guess the hive pantheon,
Chunky boys.
the chunky boys, those ones they can't simulate because they're at a level of paracausality that they're just like, I don't understand. Does not compute. Error.
Do you think
But
if they got one? Oh, I'm sorry.
What is interesting, there's a big if truth to power is correct, which is that's a big if, because the narrator is, Savathun. If truth to power is to be believed, and Savathun has taught Kiora hive magic, and as a result, Kiora can now break through that paracausality barrier that was stopping the Kiora from being able to simulate, the hive pantheon. And Kiora is now simulating Oryx, which is how Savathun is controlling the Taken. Then nothing is really stopping Kiora from simulating us, I think. But that's a big if. That's a big if truth to power is, like, correct, and very unreliable narrator there. Right? So... Yeah. And then just through Imbaro, I just made Savathun stronger. God damn it. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, I didn't want to say anything, because then,
You're like, I don't want to, you're like, stop talking about Savathun, you're just gonna make it stronger.
If we give her if we give her a clever nickname, does that negate her power, or is it just kind of like a spoonerism, like, no, you're actually saying it?
I don't know. See, this is where it gets confusing. That's why I love, I just love the Hive so much, because you just, just looking at them straight on, you're like, oh, they're, basically space bugs, zombies.
I like to think of them as, space crawdads.
Yeah. Basically.
Space scrubs.
So, but then, once you, I just think their culture and their language is so cool. They're so cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I want to get... This is a completely off-topic thing, but I kind of want to get hive runes tattooed on my arm or something. I think that'd be cool. Because I love the hive.
I think if anyone does it, it should be you.
Yeah, I think so. That's why I'm like, I wasn't gonna get, the Tablet of Ruin, probably, on my arm. On my forearm. I think that'd be cool. Either that, or the unveiling book art with the triangle, and then the dots, and then the lines, and then the circle on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to get that. Either that. One of those. I know it's completely off topic, but I just was thinking about the hive, and I was like, damn, I like the hive. They're pretty cool.
If I was going to get something tattooed, I've never gotten one, but I've never been opposed to it.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of the same thing.
If I was going to get something Destiny, I think I would go with this SRL design I have on these T-shirts. I still need to give to people.
Ooh,
But
SRL is really nice. I'm so sad.
well, this was
Why?
this was an underground
I'm just mad.
SRL design that we commissioned
Ooh.
from Grace, friend of the show, local hunter.
Nice.
Yeah, and we tweeted about it back when we did it, but it's so you can see it up there in our history, and I'm sure as people get their shirts eventually somehow, that'll be a thing. But yeah, I think I would do something like that maybe for me, because it's the little micro mini in the SRL logo.
Yes, I love the micro mini. It's so great.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. But yeah, I think for me, what I would, yeah, if you know what, I tell you what, if we if we go down to Guardian Con, we can get Hive Room show tattoos together.
Okay, I dig it.
And we'll pour tequila on it and just ruin the whole
Everything
thing.
will be great.
But we'll never forget it. That'll be our team building exercise. At Guardian game. At Guardian Con. I've always I know I can't because it's been pushed back again, and like getting a table is so fun. But I've always enjoyed the idea of if we could, or maybe like open up a space outside just to like spoon it and like have it with inflatable furniture. Have the 5 Timers Club lounge.
That'd be funny.
And then only people who've been on the show 5 times, and we can have like
I
some
think
there.
I'm in that club now because
You
I've been
are.
on the show more than 5 times.
Yeah.
I win.
Yeah, you get to go in the 5 Timers Club lounge, and partake of the Snapple and the inflatable furniture.
the fancy schmancy inflatable furniture.
Yeah, we're gonna party like it's middle school 1998.
I dig it.
but anyway, back on topic here. So yeah, you were before I got us derailed. You were talking about the before I got us derailed on shooting Rasputin in the back and the final shape on that. You were talking about the Hive in particular, but what are your thoughts on like the darkness, like the greater darkness? Like there's the worm gods, and then there's like these guys in the Doritos. Like what are your thoughts on that, Lucy?
Like in like a general sense, or like
within the theory and general. Like I'm here for anything you have to say, really.
Within the theory, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of, I think your theory has merit, but I think the opposite. I think the darkness wants the game to end, and the Traveler does not.
Go on.
Well, because the darkness is all about, I guess, the Traveler is all about complexity, helping and like, how do I explain this? The light is all about complexity and like building more and more and more and more complex things and helping and that kind of stuff. While the darkness is all about, breaking stuff down, I guess, and like into that final, as like a point. I guess, if you think about it that way. And so by using that merit, the Traveler wants the game to get infinitely complex and go on forever, while the darkness wants the game to reach a singular point, and then because it reaches this singular point, there's nothing left, and then the game ends.
Okay, so using the sort of allegory of the board, the Traveler, in your view, wants to like keep taking up new spaces and like expanding the board.
Yeah,
okay.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's how I mean. I'm just at least, especially with yeah, here it is. It's in the first knife lore entry in the Unveiling lore book. It says where they're talking about the new rule that they're going to add into this game, I guess. In this game, the gardener is like, we're gonna make a new rule. We're gonna go in the game, and we're gonna, this is what, a special new rule, something to, I don't know, to reward those who make space for new complexity, a power that helps those who make strength from, paradoxity, and who steer the game away from gridlock. Something to ensure there's always someone building something new.
And this is the gardener saying this?
This is the gardener saying this.
Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to confirm that.
No. And then the darkness says this and like refutes it and says no. Because the gardener's like, no, everything will be different. There's gonna be more complexity instead of this simple like triangle, basically. Like it just goes to this point. And then this is what the darkness or the winnower says in response. Your new rule will only make great false cysts of horror full of things that should not exist, that cannot withstand existence, and that will suffer and scream as their rich blisters fill with effluent and rot around them, and when they pop, they will blight the whole garden. Whatever exists because it must exist, and because it permits no other way of existence, has absolute claim to existence. That is the only law. So basically, the winnower is much more of like, you have to, I guess, prove your worth in kind of like the final shape, basically, is what it is. The final the sword logic, I think, is more of what the darkness is about, I guess, in like a very simple way of explaining it. Because it's basically, as Marasov explained in one of the lore books, I think it was Marasena? I think it was? Or he talked about the bomb logic. So you have the sword logic, which is, only the strong survive. If I kill you, I have more of a right to exist than you did. Which is very violent and kind of terrible if you think about it. But Marasov with the bomb logic is like, just make a bomb, basically make a bomb so complex that it can't be destroyed by the sword. If I'm understanding the sword logic.
So,
the bomb logic.
I have some thoughts.
Okay.
Do you think there might be an argument to be made that the abomination that would, by the suggestion of the new rule, the abomination that would come up kind of applies to what the hive became?
Kinda. I mean, I guess you could say that.
And so hear me out here. The winnower said no. The traveler tried to stop someone from finding the hive gods buried in Fundament.
I see.
Okay. Stay with me. There is an argument, back to what you were saying, just a couple minutes ago you were kind of saying like that was kind of like harsh, I think, was, or similar to the paraphrasing you there. Nature is metal. Competition is destruction.
Yeah.
The more different life you create, the more they compete with each other.
Yes.
And cut each other down. Okay.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Okay. I want to submit here on the Spinfoil Theory podcast, what if the traveler is the winnower by creating so much life that nothing can overtake anything else?
Interesting.
And the gardener who introduced this new rule that sounds suspiciously like what the hive became. And is very, I don't know, man. The idea that it wants to persist, that it wants like new life and new thing to burst forth, and the darkness is so willing to share its power with anyone and everyone. What if we got it backwards?
What if
the darkness is the gardener?
Well, shit. I didn't think about that. Oh no.
I mean, that really impacts this theory as to, like, the Traveler wants to end it in the darkness because, like, the darkness shifts to also being the Traveler.
It just kind of flips the theory.
Yeah. Well, not the darkness. The darkness just becomes the gardener.
Trippy.
Cultivating the spread of its own power.
Yeah. No, I could see that.
And what it describes, a malignancy, it describes like a cancer, and that's like, in a lot of ways, when you look at like what cancer, like as a survivor myself, as you look at like what cancer is, it's cells that forget to die. Like if you like oversimplify it to the point of just like being able to like really compartmentalize what it is, that's what the hive are. They're krill that forgot to die.
Yeah. Shit. You're right. What the brain explode?
Like, that's where I'm kind of at this point in the conversation. I'm just kind of like, well, one sounds like the other more than the other sounds like the one, right? But yeah, for me, this kind of like reinforces but also gives new meaning to the theory. Because if the Traveler is the winnower, if the Traveler is the person basically like stopping overgrowth of a flower, if a flower is like, let's call it a dominant species, or like in a grander scheme, like not like on a planetary scale, but if like every system that it goes to, it uplifts a different society. If you think about a universe where the Traveler was left to its own devices, you'd have like infinitely great people able to like defend themselves from one another. But they probably wouldn't fight also because the Traveler helped them out.
Yeah.
If you think of what the hive are, it's like one thing overtaking everything else. And I know the writers is, I don't know. I don't know if there's been any direct thing that I can think of off the top of my head, but at least the metaphor, I feel like, kind of maybe it's like a little misdirection there of Bungie's part.
Possibly. I'm not sure. Everything I know is a lie.
But you see what I mean? Like it's a it's a little like the seeds are there for every possibility. But I'm starting to wonder if maybe we didn't miss, or maybe we like bit on a red herring.
Possibly.
And I don't mean like a kick-ass like Swedish fish. Any candy fans out there? Sorry.
Man, now I want Swedish fish. Why did you do this? I'm hungry. I'm always hungry. I'm just a black hole.
I'm pretty hungry myself. I don't know if you do this. I actually have snacks.
Oh no, I normally have snacks, but like
while we record.
Oh, while we record. See, that's the part that I'm missing, is while we're recording.
I actually have, because I record in the den. Lucy and listeners, the den is now that, well, we had a den in the apartment, but now that we're homeowners, The den is like on the lowest floor. I know, yeah, it's new and wonderful. And on the floor that we're at, we my sort of like office and like hangout, like all my video games and stuff are down here. I got Legos and Destiny stuff and video game consoles, and I have an artwork.
It's basically a man cave.
I don't like the man cave stuff because I feel like there's something here for everyone.
Okay.
And also it goes back out to the deck. So if I open the shades and I just turn the music up, party central.
Okay, it's party central is what it really is, not man cave. Got it.
Thank you. Yeah, because I don't want to be exclusionary. Everyone, I mean, as long as there's enough chairs for everyone, because it's kind of tiny too, because it's on the same floor as the garage. And so there's only so much space, but then you have like the outdoor element, so it's like it could be bigger if weather permits. Like, I don't know. Question marks. But because I record down here, and I just know I'll be trapped. Like, you know, there is a bathroom down here, which is great. There's a half bath, but I'm just like, in case I'm trapped or something and I can't like mute myself through or like ask other people to carry the conversation. It was like, let me just have some snacks. I should keep like I have honey roasted peanuts right now, but I've also had like cashew halves and like, yeah, it's been a whole thing. I had jerky one time. That was a lovely time. That was a lovely like few days.
Man, stop talking to me about these snacks. You make me want to like go get a snack.
I don't know if you have it. Around here, the Costco has Korean pork beef jerky, Korean barbecue, like pork beef jerky.
That sounds so good.
Oh, dude, it's amazing. It's like a very like sweet, porky thing. Sorry, that was rude of me. You actually just literally asked me to stop. Sorry.
No, it's okay. No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just like, damn, I'm hungry. Hungry now. I might go get a snack or something.
So I do have one example. To go back, shifting all the way back to the topic. Sorry, everybody. Shifting all the way back to the topic. Looking at other races the Traveler has uplifted. So if you go back to the game, the flowers grow, and basically if like they don't take up enough spots, like the darkness can move in, and you have to like do connecting spots. So if you get like broken off, you get absorbed. It's kind of like Othello almost, is what it sounds like. I don't know if you're familiar with that, or like a Go, but more Othello.
No, I get that. I get it.
Yeah. But it always sounds like you can't have the dark spaces without the flower to begin with.
Yeah.
So like that's the one that's always going first. And I just really wonder if the board is the universe as it already exists. Does the flower represent an uplifted species? Like, kind of going back to like my point earlier, like considering things might be flipped. Does it represent an uplifted species, or is it kind of like a cute way of saying you have a growth?
Interesting.
Yeah. What do you think?
I'm not sure. I mean, using the theory that you've stated, I would assume that each flower then would represent, like, at least from my understanding of the actual unveiling, is that each flower would represent like an actual quote-unquote playthrough of the universe, so to speak.
Okay.
So every flower, so basically the flower would basically, starts out, does its thing, then eventually it reaches this point where it's like stagnant and everything's done. And it kept reaching that stagnant point, and every single time. And that thing, or stagnation, I guess, would be the final shape, or everything is the Vex, or whatever it may be. Does that make sense?
Well, I want to make sure I'm hearing right. So, Shannon, you were reading it as sort of the each place on the board was one universe,
Mm-hmm.
and that is each flower one traveler, or is the traveler like that's just like a
Well,
like a proxy?
the flower game that they were watching is before the Traveler is even in the universe at all. It's all before that point, because basically what they're doing is both the winnower and the gardener are basically caretakers of the universe in a very simplified manner, and then the gardener is noticing that every single flower is ending up the same, and they're just like, this is boring. I don't want to do it like that anymore. I want some variety. Where's the spice? So then they introduce the new rule, which then adds the gardener and the winnower to the game itself.
I feel like. So, who was it before that was playing the game that wasn't the gardener and the winnower?
Just life itself, I guess. Like, they were just basically just watching how the universe ran its course. And every single time it ended up with the Vex winning. And then the gardener was like, we need a new rule that spices things up.
Hive. Sorry, I'm sorry.
The cough, hive, yes.
Yeah, I had a
stroke.
Yeah.
A cough.
Stroke.
Something stuck in your throat. I couldn't think of the word. I was like, what's the word? It's not a stroke. It's like something stuck in. I was like,
As the oldest person on this podcast, good dig, nice dig.
I'm sorry. I did. Okay. But yeah, that's at least how I was reading. So I guess we could pivot and change the theory as to, or I guess a possible sub-theory, is that the new rule gave birth to the hive. Or I guess the new rule is the hive. Am I understanding what you said correctly?
That's sort of where, based on our conversation, I'm arriving at.
Yeah, okay. No, I can see that.
Is that, like, maybe we had the roles reversed?
Yes.
And that maybe there's this new life, like, mutation, like, yeah, man, boom. What you think about that? It doesn't know how to die, or it forgot how to. We're just gonna keep growing. But then I feel like we're also left in a weird space where we, like, what did the Doritos represent? Because they are not the hive.
Definitely.
So that's
because the hive are just agents, I guess, followers of the darkness, not necessarily the darkness themselves.
Ooh, yo. Not tangential, but like yes and to that conversation. What if that was the rule, and the winnower didn't use it until it was shot in the back? Because up until that point, there are no paracausal light users like we were talking about in the beginning.
Yeah. Interesting.
I'm here for it. I think if you are, I'm ready to move into like scoring like final thoughts, because this has been a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, no,
it's been like a journey.
A journey, but yeah, definitely.
All right, would you like to score first, Lucy?
All right, I'll score first. I'll do I'm always bad at scoring. I think this theory is 77. Gotta think of an arbitrary thing. Dorito ships. Darkness Dorito ships.
Are they at least ghost pepper spiced?
Yes. They're very spicy.
I
Yeah,
like
no,
it.
I want Doritos.
Just order, what's that thing? Alright, there used to be a thing in DC where you could basically order, like, snacks from CVS or, like, Walgreens or something that was 24
Yeah,
hours.
they have that here too, but
Yeah.
like my parents just left to go to the store.
Text
I guess
them.
I could text. I'll text them and be like, "Bring home the spicy Doritos."
Actually,
Please.
your parents might appreciate the imperative of, like, a voice call. Just be like, you guys, we've got to do this. We need this now.
Please, I'm craving the spicy Dorito.
Please.
'Cause I'm really weird because I really like spicy food, and my dad really likes spicy food. My mom and my brother don't. So it's like, whenever we eat food at my house, we always end up having to do like my mom and my brother want because they're really picky eaters.
No,
I can pretty much eat.
They're who's
I can
wrong.
pretty much eat. Yeah, and they also don't like seafood either. And I'm just like, ugh,
Okay.
stab in the heart. I love seafood.
They're completely on the wrong side of history. If and when we
They're on the
ever-
wrong side of history.
Yeah, they're
Oh my
completely on the
God.
wrong side of history. If and when you ever come to DC, Kari and I will take you guys out, show you the town. One thing a lot of people don't know about DC is actually, per capita, not like raw numbers, but per capita, 1 in 3 people aren't from the United States in DC, and so we actually have a lot of great food and diversity in shops here in the city.
Ooh,
And in the surrounding
sounds really-
areas. So yeah, there's so many tasty flavors
Man, you're making me hungry.
that are.
Why you do this every time? Every time.
Dude,
That's okay.
I don't know
Well,
if
it's
you've
like-
seen my Instagram. It's like all like
Food.
sometimes me like snuggling with my cat and like me and Kari, but like mostly things that I ate that were delicious.
Yes. That sounds good, man.
Yeah.
I think my Instagram. See, I have 2. I think I do.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I have my Destiny one,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have my regular one. My regular one is just mainly pictures of like flowers or cutesy stuff. I don't know. Then my Destiny one is barren and dead. It's a lot of me posting my pictures of my seal pins, and just flexing on people, being like, "Look at me, I'm cool. I play video games and have no fucking life."
So I'm gonna give this one. Not to cut you off because you were speaking.
No,
You were
it's
speaking.
okay.
You were speaking from my soul. Is how much I identify with that statement. But the score I'm gonna give is I'm gonna give it 160 nutrition facts.
Nutrition facts.
Yeah, because we gotta know who's consuming these flowers on the board.
Yeah,
Is it competition? Is it nature is metal?
no idea.
Or is it Cancer Hive? Nutrition facts. I totally didn't just read something that was in front of me and decide to score it that way.
Oh my god.
Listen, this one's been a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to. I think they'll probably be on this show, but I'm looking forward to doing the new intro outro with you this weekend. How do you feel about Sunday? You want to lock in Sunday?
Yeah, sure. Sunday
Groovy.
works.
And we can play a game too, because I still want to fly Star Wars with you.
Yes, I'm very bad at Star Wars, but I'll try. I'll try my hardest. I'm bad at squadrons.
I will. I'm your wing buddy. I don't know if I'm good. I still haven't done my 10 missions yet.
But you haven't finished the story yet?
No, I finished the story. I haven't done my 10
Okay.
missions for them to rank me.
Oh
haven't
shit!
done
No, I
any-
haven't done that either.
I haven't done
that
any
either. I suck.
PvP. I did the story and I did okay, but I have the Logitech, and this is an entry level flight stick. I'm not flexing. I wish I had like a HOTAS, you guys.
Ooh,
But this is
man,
the
now you want me?
Logitech.
Now I want to flight stick. Because
Joystick.
I play.
Dude,
play
this
Elite
one's like $20.
Dangerous.
This one's like $20. Get it from Amazon. The Amazon
Ooh,
Extreme
hell
3D
yeah.
Pro. Like it's really cheap. I might be off by $10. Everyone, like, please forgive me if I forget. But this is a really cheap like intro one, and it's really good. It's not a HOTAS, but it has a little roller with a tab, so you can do like the throttle that way. So you're just kind of like doing like a little tab in front of you on a roll bar, as opposed to having like the full-on thing with more buttons. So, but like, yeah, no, it's a great, It reminds me of the Sidewinder. I don't know for any like '90s gamers out there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But yeah, that's if anyone else wants to come play with us too, like, yeah, like, please add us. We will fly. We will fly with you.
Yeah.
And that can maybe be a fun thing that we do. Lisa, you got any shout outs this week?
Got any shout outs? I guess. I don't really know. I guess shout out to. I'm still doing a shout out to my girlfriend again because she was awesome. And we just got done with our vacation to Florida.
Nice.
And it was very nice. It was very relaxing. It was very bright and sunny. And I got sunburnt. And it sucks. But I'm slowly recovering from that. But yes. Shout out to my awesome, amazing girlfriend because she's number one.
Dig it.
We also, we did, I got her Gilded Conqueror last night, or helped her get that. So now she has every gilded title in the game, and I'm just like, honey, calm down. She's crazy. She does this. She's very competitive, and she's like, I must do it.
I was gonna say, when do we get to game?
She got flawless.
Yeah, carry me.
She got... Right, okay.
No, I'm sorry. I mean that. Like, let's just play and hang out. But like, kind of for serious. Also, please carry me, please.
You're like, please carry. Well, no. What ended up happening last night is our normal guy who ended up doing Grandmaster's Myth, just like, we had all like talked the day before, and we're like, hey, we're gonna get on this time. We're gonna just do the last 2 we need.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone was like, yeah, okay. So I got on. My girlfriend got on. Our third guy, he didn't get on. And we're like, dude.
Whoa.
Dude, where'd you go? Where are you? And I texted him. He didn't pick up. So I'm like, okay. So I cried. But then, one of my other friends, they were on. And they're like our like alternate Grandmaster guy per person. So I messaged them and was like, hey, you're on. Do you mind doing a huge favor and helping us do these last 2 Grandmasters? And they're just like, yeah, sure, why not? We ended up doing like 4 Grandmasters last night. It was insane.
I love it. No, that's amazing.
That's
so cool.
Because we needed to do 2 for our alternate guy, because they wanted to get gilded as well, and I said, okay, if you want gilded, we need to get you to the same step that my girlfriend is at, where you have to just do the strikes again, and the first one we're doing proving grounds, so we never have to do that strike ever again, because that strike is the hardest Grandmaster ever. It's stupid. It's so stupid. You have to do it with 2 Ursa Titans and a Chaos Reach. There's no other strat that really like works effectively, because it's mainly just the tank room. The tank room is honestly the hardest part. But after that, it's pretty straightforward and easy. And the boss fight's a little annoying. It's just you gotta be quick on your feet and have people with anarchy. And obviously you have to go into that final boss fight with like more than 3 reses. Because that happened earlier on one of our runs. We went into the boss fight with 3 reses, and then one of the champions literally teleported right next to me and killed everyone. It was so fun. You know.
It sounds like it was fun.
No, it wasn't. It was cancer. It was not cancer. It was very, very bad, and I hated it. It was 0 out of 10. Do not recommend. And I really, 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 really hope next season, because I know they change the strikes every season. I swear to God, if next season has both Proving Grounds and Corrupted as the Grandmaster ones we need to do, I will cry. I will just sob. Just loud sobbing, because Corrupted is like the second hardest one. Because there's just so many ads. Just so many.
It's true.
So many. So it's like, it's pain.
I can dig it. Well, I don't dig the pain, but I can appreciate what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh man, my shout out this week is actually going to be to the National Smithsonian here in the U.S. There's going to be what I think is Poe Dameron's X-wing at the Air and Space Museum here
What?
soon.
That's crazy.
They just announced it was like it is arrived and like staging to open today.
Okay. That's cool. That's cool.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna be going to that.
Sounds
That
nice.
sounds stupid awesome. And I believe it's here in the DC, not the Udvar-Hazy thing in Virginia. But it might also make sense if it's at the Udvar-Hazy thing. But either way, super jazzed for it. Super jazzed for it. So I'm giving my shout out to the Air and Space Museum for hopping in on the Star Wars fun. May the 4th be with everyone. This is Star Wars week. If you didn't hear us talking about it, we're definitely big Star Wars nerds on this show. So, do you want to do a special, maybe on Sunday? Do you want to do a special episode, Star Wars episode? We can talk about the Bad Batch.
Sure. I'd be down. I'd be down to talk about whatever. I love Star Wars. I'm a nerd.
Okay, yeah. So you guys are hearing it here first when we drop this just before we drop the other one on Sunday. You're hearing it here first.
There we go.
Yeah. Aside from that, everyone, like, please stay safe. Get vaccinated.
Get vaccinated, please.
Yeah. And keep your mask on after you till everyone is. Please. Just to keep everyone safe. But other than that, like, see you next time. Like, this is we really enjoyed recording this. I hope you enjoyed listening to it, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Heck yeah. Toodles! That's the end of this week's topic, but be sure to check out our past and future episodes on Spotify, iTunes, and Podbean. If you have any questions about this week's topic, want to discuss Destiny lore with us, or just feel like reaching out, you can find us on Twitter at Spinfoil Theory, or you can email us via spinfoiltheory@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. Toodles!